everybody. In this video, we're going to talk about how to find the interest that you end up paying if you get a loan, and we'll use the loan formula to help us with that. So take a deep breath and let's make this math easy. All right, so this word problem is one that we actually solved in a previous video when we found the total amount paid. So in this situation, you owe $20,000, which is P, at an interest rate of 0.035. It's compounded monthly, which means K equals 12. And the question is, how much interest will you pay? So in the previous video, we found out the total amount that you'll end up paying. And in this one, we're looking at how much interest will you pay in total by the time your loan is paid off. And on this problem, there was a typo, and we didn't have the specification for what T is, or the number of years that you're using to pay off the loan. And so in that previous video, we had T equals 6. And in that calculation, the way that we found the total amount of money that we ended up paying off was by first using the loans formula to find the payment. And we found that the payment was $308.37. And then we took that amount and we found that the total amount that we paid would be $308.37. And we multiplied it by 12 months and 6 years, because each year you're going to have 12 months of making that payment. And that ended up giving us a total amount of $22,202.49. So those calculations were made in the total paid video. So if you need a reminder of how to do those calculations, you can go back and watch that video. But that's a necessary pre-calculation to be able to find the amount of interest we end up paying. Because the amount of interest we end up paying is going to equal the total amount we pay, so the $22,202.49, minus the amount of our loan. And in this case, our loan amount was $20,000, and so the interest amount is going to be $2,202.49, and that's what our interest amount would be. So basically, the way that you figure out how much interest was paid on a loan is you figure out how much money you paid on the loan altogether by multiplying the monthly payment by the number of months that you paid that payment over the entire time period of the loan. And then you subtract the amount that you initially borrowed, and that will give you your interest amount. So why don't you go ahead and try this problem on your own? Pause the video and then restart it to see how I would solve it. Okay, so in this problem, it says you want to buy a house and you can afford payments of $1,200. So D equals $1,200 per month. So K equals 12. And the bank is offering an interest rate of 4%. So R equals 0.04. Compounded monthly, and that's good that the interest is being compounded at the same rate that the payments are happening. And then it says if you get a 30-year mortgage, so T equals 30, how much interest will you pay in total by the time your house is paid off? So in order to calculate the interest, we need to take the total amount we borrowed and subtract that from the total amount we pay. And we can figure out the total amount that we pay pretty easily, because we can say, okay, the total paid is going to equal our monthly payments of $1,200 times 12 months per year times 30 years. And if we multiply those together, we end up with a total of $432,000 that we're paying to pay off the mortgage. And that's the total amount that includes interest as well as the original amount of the loan. So to figure out the interest, we need to know what the original amount was that we borrowed. So to calculate that, I'm going to find P, because that's the original amount. And I'll do that by doing 1,200 times 1 minus 1 plus 0.04 divided by 12 raised to a negative exponent of 30 years times 12 months, and all of that is going to be divided by 0.04 divided by 12. So let's do our mini calculations first. So negative 30 times 12 is negative 360. And 0.04 divided by 12 is going to be 0.0033333333. And I'm going to take that decimal, which is also this number here, and add 1 to it. That gives me this decimal. Then I'm going to raise this to an exponent of 360, but it's a negative 360, so I'm going to make that a negative sign. That gives me that decimal. And I'm going to do 1 minus this, so I'll make this negative and add 1 to it. That gives me this decimal. And then I'll multiply it by 1200 and divide by 0.003333333333, etc. And that ends up telling me that the total amount of my original loan is $251,353.48 And so my interest, which is what the problem asked me for, that's going to equal my total amount I ended up paying off, which is $432,000 minus $251,353.49. And when I subtract that, I can make the 251 number negative and then add 432,000. And that tells me that the amount that I paid in interest is $180,646.51. And so that would be the amount of interest that I end up paying by the time my house is paid off. So I hope that video was helpful, and I hope that you guys have a good day.